Who are we talking to?
Ourselves. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Wonder what we'll say. So, welcome back to the Mc&Marren podcast as we continue our discussion of educational programming. And this week, in case you couldn't tell from my wonderful parody work, we're talking about
Blues Clues.
Blues Clues.
But before we get into that, we do have some announcements.
Firstly, we will be at Arkansas Comic-Con this year. We will be discussing Pixar villains who were not wrong.
Yep. And that is when?
That is September 19th, Saturday, September 19th, from 3:30 to 4:15. So we have a nice 45-minute window to talk about this topic. This will be our second time speaking at Arkansas Comic-Con. We'll be in panel room 2.
And we will keep you guys posted as updates we get closer. But yes, we did this last year when we did Disney villains who weren't wrong, and that actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We got some feedback on some stuff for the Disney Villain Pantheon.
We had a pretty good, decent turnout, so we hope to see you all there.
Yeah, so if you're in the Arkansas area, please come out to Arkansas Comic-Con September 18th and 19th and 20th.
Yep. And also, this is actually a very special occasion because this is the official 1-year anniversary of the Mc&Marren podcast.
Yay! So 1 year ago from the time that we're recording this, we actually recorded our first podcast, although the first podcast did not go live until the 23rd. So we still have a few more days, but it's also kind of ironic, isn't it ironic, that the podcast birthday falls on the same week as podcast member Colin. His birthday is in 2 days.
Woo-hoo!
Although at the time of this podcast being released, it's actually tomorrow. So,
Now,
yay!
yay!
So Colin and the podcast share a birthday week.
Yep. All right. With all that out of the way, let's talk about Blues Clues. So Blues Clues premiered on Nickelodeon through the Nick Jr. block on September 8th in 1996, which makes it, well, actually next month, Blues Clues will be turning 20. Wait, no, 30.
30.
30, sorry, 30. I wasn't sure. But yeah, Blues Clues will be 30 years old next month. We are old, people. The original host of the show was Steve Burns, who left the show in 2002 and was replaced by Donovan Patton for the 5th and 6th season. And then it actually was rebooted with Blues Clues and You, hosted by Josh De La Cruz, which premiered on November 11th, 2019.
Choices.
So we all watched Blues Clues growing up, and we grew up with Steve. He is the original. Funnily enough, when they were making the show, they actually wanted a female performer because originally it was tested that younger audiences were more responsive to a woman. But
Kind of like a Miss Rachel character.
yeah. However, when Steve auditioned, he was the most enthusiastic out of all the people that auditioned, and he got the most responses from the younger audience. So, he was the man for the job. However, when he left the show, he created a lot of outlandish rumors when he left.
He didn't make anything. We made it all up.
Yeah, well, it's like, when he left the show, it was like very abrupt. And we're just like, it was a shock.
Was he okay?
Yep,
Did he die? What are you two up to?
Nothing.
Justin's complaining because he feels like he's doing all the talking. However, he's going through the history of the show. And we're just sitting here and letting him do it. You are history here, dude. So if you wanted feedback, ask a feedback question. For example, who is your favorite non-Steve character of Blues Clues? And why? Colin?
I would have to go with Blue. Just because
It's her
the
show.
chaos.
It's her show. We're just here. Okay, if you can't pick Blue though, because everyone loved Blue.
Paprika.
Okay, why Paprika?
I don't know. Just like Paprika.
Paprika.
Innocent kid. Salt and pepper
Yeah.
kid. 'Cause, well, first.
Salt and
kid.
Pepper had a lot of kids in the end. They
Yeah,
had
yeah.
the whole spice rack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, what, 6 kids by the end?
My favorite was probably at the time of when Colin was really the big watcher of Blue's Clues, and so we would watch it because Colin was watching it. But I think my favorite character at the time were Shovel and Pail.
Okay.
But I also liked Mailbox.
We just got a letter.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Justin! Who's your favorite character?
Mailbox. Just because of the song. And at least for us growing up, it was always like, ever since we started watching the show, we would when we get mail, we would sing the song and do the little dance.
We still do that.
Yep, we still do that.
So, all right. So as you were saying, when he left the show, the rumor mill was in great abundance. But I think what's more impressive than the rumor mill that got started when he left was the collective relief everyone felt in 2020 when he came back.
Yeah, because one of the largest rumors, at least ones I heard, and maybe you can hear something different, but it's like the largest what?
How detailed do you want to get into the rumors? Family friendly.
Well,
I think he was going with the rumor that he died.
Okay.
yeah, I was getting there. But yeah, it's one way or another though. But eventually, it was the rumor mill that through one way or another that Steve unfortunately had passed away.
This is not true. He is alive and well.
But it is one thing to hear, oh, no, he's fine. He just left the show. And another thing to actually see him alive and talking.
Yeah. So the main reason why he actually did an interview years later was saying that the reason why he left the show was because he was going bald. And he didn't want the kids watching to basically be like, why is,
Where did all of his hair go?
Yeah, he didn't want the kids questioning his appearance.
Because he was supposed to be younger.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But, so some of you may remember in 2020 when the world was shutting down, we were all contemplating what are we doing with our lives and where have we gone wrong. Steve actually took to social media. And he, in true Steve fashion, just asked us how we were all doing. And
He just sat there.
And let us vent and let us know it was going to be okay. And so we actually had the wonderful privilege of meeting Steve at GalaxyCon.
In 2024.
Yes. And he was exactly like you would expect him to be. He was so sweet and so nice.
Yeah.
But that, one of the things that he actually really talked about was the fact that Blue's Clues was the first show of the talk and let the kids talk back format. So that whole, and what do you think of that?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They hadn't done that before, and you did see a surgence of shows that started doing it after the success of Blue's Clues. But he was talking about how it wasn't just the call and response, it was a more relaxed pacing, there wasn't pressure, there wasn't a sense of rushing.
Yeah.
It was, or was it 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was like a
30 minutes to solve the Blues riddle or Blues Clues and let the kids have the time they need and, talk and just be kind of relaxed. And a lot of the shows today and a lot of the shows then, they suffer from go, 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 go. And as a result, the kids are go, 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 go. And Blue's Clues reminded us that stop, take a breath.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah. Also, it was like back in the 90s, there was a lot of kids TV shows at the time, but a lot of parents, teachers, and media experts criticized a lot of the shows because the quality of the shows were mostly just selling toys and action figures.
Now, don't get us wrong. Blue's Clues also had some great merchandising, and because of that, we now have autographed Generation 1 and 2 Blue's Clues dolls.
And when we actually met Steve for our photo op, which, by the way, for the photo op, he had the thinking chair.
Which he was... So, when you do your photo op, you get like 10 seconds max. And he was doing the thing where if it was a little kid doing the photo with him, he let the kid sit in the thinking chair. But if you were adults, he was sitting in the thinking chair.
So when we roll up to our photo
chair.
op, when we roll up to the photo op, we actually did bring the blues that he signed, as well as Mr. Salt, Mrs. Pepper, and Paprika along with us. And
he was like, "Gimme."
Yeah, he saw the blue doll and he was like, "Gimme, gimme, 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 gimme." Like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. Now, with all that being said, I did feel kind of bad for the other two people. Just so, not only did they bring Steve for GalaxyCon, but they also had cousin Joe and the dude Josh, who is playing the new hosts of Blue's Clues reboot. All the people were going to Steve, and no one was going to them. So I did feel kind of bad for that, but at the same time, it was kind of just like, that was the one that most Steve was the one that a lot of people grew up watching, and we actually saw a lot of people with their kids bringing up to Steve, just like, we did when we were kids.
Yeah.
And when Steve left, part of the "No, Steve, come back" really got directed to the new guy.
I mean, it's
hard.
No one wants to be the person who follows in the Legend's footsteps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when Snape stands in Dumbledore's spot. How dare you stood where he stood?
Yeah.
Stand where he stood.
You
Yeah. But kind of going back to what they did for a moment, like Tori said, Blue's Clues was one of his first TV show that basically was like getting the children to interact with it. When creating the show, they combined a lot of concepts from child development and early childhood education that was pioneered by Sesame Street. So they used a lot of the same techniques that Sesame Street did over 30 years ago for Blue's Clues. And the format of the show, it presented a puzzle or a challenge for kids to solve. So they were actively engaged and they were trying to figure out what Blue was trying to help us solve. And also, what Steve was trying to draw in his little handy-dandy notebook.
Which Colin, to this day, still carries a notebook. It's a rare occasion if Colin is not carrying a notebook. I think, did you or did you not have a notebook in your pocket during my wedding?
I did.
Yeah, his only sister's wedding, and he still got a notebook in his pocket.
Although, to be fair, I think he used a notebook to keep an eye on things because he was also the bodyguard at our wedding.
He was one of many bodyguards at our wedding.
Yes.
I was specifically the bodyguard who would be the one to pick up people to take them outside.
Yeah.
Whereas the other bodyguard was to shout at them and throw.
For context, our quote-unquote bodyguards were my brother and my maid of honor / best friend, who had the following rules. No one is allowed to wear white except the bride. No one is allowed to wear neon. And if they start, I'm a big believer in the line from Men in Black. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So, unfortunately for my maid of honor / BFF, she is on the shorter side with me. And she is very fierce and very ferocious, and you should all be terrified of her. However, Colin is the muscle. She would give the order, and he would execute. She's the poison ivy, you're the bane.
Yep.
Now, another thing about Blue's Clues that really makes it stand out was the visuals.
Yes.
Because a lot of other things would just go entirely animated or puppets or something like that. But Blue's Clues was just
A Mod Podge.
It's a set and there are cartoon characters
With one live action person.
that look like they're drawn with crayon.
Yeah.
Or felt.
It literally looked like a kid's book had come to life. And I think that's why, like, again, we're all, like, some of us are in their mid 30s and one of us in their early 30s. And it's like seeing the new reboot with it's all CGI, it's just like it's not giving the same thing. What?
He's turning 29 this year. He's not even in his 30s yet.
Okay, fine. Almost 30, mid 30s, but it's just like, again, we're commenting on a kid's show, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just nostalgia based, but it's just like looking at the new reboot where it's all CGI, whereas one human actor, it just doesn't have the same feel as, you know, the hand-drawn.
The quality's not there.
Yeah, but again, we haven't watched the reboot because, well, first of all, we don't have any kids that need to watch it. And again, mid-30s, almost 30, not the right target demographic for that show.
No.
But we can just comment on what we feel from the original show to now. So.
And as always, these are just our thoughts and opinions. They in no way reflect Nickelodeon, the brand, or the company.
Yeah, no disrespect to any of the actors, voice actors, creators, whatever for the show. We're just commenting and remembering the original show from our childhood and seeing what we've seen for the new one.
Yes.
Now there is one change I know of for the reboot that I did not care for. They got rid of the mailroom.
What?
The mailroom is now the present room.
I beg your pardon.
But what?
So what? Do we not have a? Do we not sing a letter song? Do I not get to sing the "We just got a letter, we just got a letter, we just got a letter, wonder who it's from"? Okay, we are 30 years, people, and we're still singing that. I challenge you, challenge, to come up with a better earworm for checking the mail. I challenge you today. Last week, your challenge was to come up with a musical version for Informed Consent. Today, it's find me a better earworm for checking the mail than We Just Got a Letter.
Something else I just realized that, like, a lot of kids shows, especially like educational kids shows, they have really good earworm theme songs. The original Blue's Clues did not have a theme song. It just had an intro. So, you know, you saw Blue hop around and then enter in the house, and then you see Steve saying, "Hi, friends, it's me, Steve." That was it.
That was it. That's all we needed. We didn't need a flashy song. We didn't need. I mean, now granted, so some of the, especially the '90s shows, some of those theme songs went really hardcore.
Oh yeah, I think we'll probably have to do like another episode at some point of just favorite theme song intros.
Although, if you are a fan of overly hardcore theme songs for no apparent reason,
Super Kitties!
Super Kitties, which is a show currently
on Disney Plus, it goes hard.
It does, and you sit there as an adult watching the theme song and just going, "This is for a kid's show." Now, granted, I grew up in the years of Phil Collins doing Brother Bear and Tarzan, but this is a different level.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's a kid's show that's like 6 minutes long about a team of super kitties, and it goes hard.
So you know what? I'm actually going to kitties. So, what did you guys think of the cat when they introduced the cat in Blue's Clues? What are our thoughts on the cat? I was never a fan.
I didn't really think much of the cat at the time. I didn't.
I'll be honest, I forgot.
You forgot there was a cat. Okay, but how about the fact that one of the things that, and this is also a problem that they have with the Bluey TV show, is that everyone assumed that Blue was a boy.
Oh yeah.
Blue was actually a girl, just like Bluey.
Yeah. But
And Blue's friend Magenta
is a girl.
is a girl.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was just like, I don't know why we assumed it was a boy. Maybe because Steve was a boy, so he had a boy dog.
That would have made sense.
But
ultimately, here's the thing about it: did it matter?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
Did it impact the show in any? It's kind of like watching, and this is one of the things about Bluey. It's like, does Bluey's gender really matter?
No, not really.
It except for like the episode where they're like, "I'm glad you're my sister" with Bingo type thing. That's the only time it matters. But for kids' educational programming, and really just kids programming in general, if it's not relevant, it doesn't matter. Kids don't care. And here's the thing, is that with every generation, there has been a blue dog to lead the way. The current generation has Bluey. We had Blue. The one before us, it was the Hanna-Barbera blue dog.
Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound. Okay? It's a rite of passage. There will come a blue dog that will lead that generation into the type of person they're supposed to be.
Yeah. And like, I remember when I was growing up, my youngest sister was really a huge fan of Blue's Clues, and her best friend at the time lived next door. So every time they had a play date, we would always do the song, Magenta's coming over, Magenta's coming over. We would replace it with Jacqueline's coming over, Jacqueline's coming over. So it's just like, that was just another song that we used to sing a lot when we were kids.
Also, can we talk about the artistic ability of Steve for a minute?
Yes.
And the kids who were the Notebook kids.
Or the artist kids.
I was not the artist. I was not the Notebook kid. I was lucky if I'm actually good at drawing one thing. Does anyone know what the one thing I'm good at drawing is?
A stick figure?
No.
What?
I can draw the flowers that are in the background of the ocean from SpongeBob.
Okay.
That is like the most random thing to be good at drawing, and I completely discovered it on accident, but that's the one thing I am good at drawing. Colin is the artist growing up. Justin is the artist that I married. My creativity is in the three-dimensional and physical space.
Yeah.
I sew.
But yeah, it's just like, I remember growing up, I had Disney's Magic Artist on the computer, and they would go through like various tutorials on how to draw the Disney characters, right? But you would always do like the circle with the two lines and make the eyes or whatever, and it would be, you had to be a little bit older to kind of figure out how to draw that stuff. Whereas Steve, he did it in such a way that like younger kids can draw what he's drawing and follow along pretty easily with whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah, and so I earlier today, Colin was saying that he would like to see a chart of how many kids who grew up watching Blue's Clues and loving Blue's Clues went on to love like CSI and crime detection movies or shows. How many kids who were Notebook kids, carried around a notebook, handy dandy notebook, have way more two-dimensional artistic ability than those of us who didn't?
Now,
I want to see those numbers.
Now, I will say another reason I carried a notebook around was because of boredom. So
Sheer boredom.
So, for example, church. Church is not fun for a kid.
No, it is not.
It can be.
You
No, it
sit
can't.
there for an hour listening to someone else talk about stuff you don't really know about.
You're supposed to be learning something.
But it's on the weekend. It's like we went through 5 days of school, and we have one of those days dedicated to the weekend where we still have to learn some more stuff.
Would you rather your
no.
parents have
And
sent
then-
you to Catholic school?
I would rather take Catholic school because
And then
at
no,
least
no,
we
'cause
still have
it's not-
Sunday off.
It's not just on Sundays, because you also go on Wednesday.
Not
evening.
everybody does.
I didn't do that.
But we did that sometimes.
Yes, we did that sometimes.
I only did go to church on Sunday.
And so I'm just sitting there, nothing to do. So they started giving me a notebook to just doodle in.
That's because when we didn't give you something to write on, you listened to the preacher and you found where he went wrong in his logic. For
That's
context,
not my fault.
context of the story. Colin was little. We had a really nice preacher. He was a younger preacher, and he was trying to do a comparison of religion with Star Wars or something. Anyway, he mixed up Star Wars and Star Trek, and Colin went up to him after church and just, very politely, in the way that only a precocious 5-year-old can, was like, you're wrong, right? And it had nothing to do with the sermon. It was just the fact that he said Star Trek instead of Star Wars.
That's not my fault. It's like, hey, if you want to use a metaphor, go ahead, but
Have the right metaphor.
At least do a little
Fact check
research.
your metaphors first.
Yes.
So, all right. Any other thoughts on Blue's Clues? Blues get do, we get do.
For as long as it ran and coming back, it actually has a very small cast of characters.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just Salt and Pepper and
Shovel and Pail.
Shovel and Pail. And Salt and Pepper's kids.
Yep.
The alarm clock.
The alarm clock. The
The
mailbox.
the chest of drawers.
Whoever is hosting the show.
Yep.
Blue and Magenta.
And that's it.
And the cat.
And the cat.
And Magenta's and the cat's owners.
Yeah, but that's it. That's a very small cast. The overhead was probably nil.
Yeah.
The only time we really introduced new characters was the cat
Mm-hmm.
and Salt and Pepper's kids.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Are you looking up what the cat's name is?
No. I can.
Please look up what the cat's name was. 'Cause that's bothering me because I feel like it's a name that I should remember, but I don't because I have slept since then.
It was a show about a dog. We focused on the dog.
It was the
Periwinkle.
The cat's name was Periwinkle.
Blue, magenta, periwinkle.
I was double checking to make sure that so Blue's Clues premiered, like I said, on the Nick Jr. block.
Uh-huh.
I was seeing if it was the first Nick Jr. cartoon ever, but it wasn't. Nick Jr. premiered in 1988, and Blue's Clues premiered 8 years later. Nick Jr. featured shows like Pinwheel, Eureka's Castle, and David the Gnome, but Blue's Clues didn't come out until about 8 years after it premiered. So I was just double checking that. But I think it's
Had such shows as Little Bear and Franklin.
yep, and Oswald at some point.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty safe to say that Blue's Clues is the most popular Nick Jr. show of all time.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. Even if you are one of the people who are fans of Joe or Josh, and if you are, there's
fine.
nothing wrong with being a fan of Joe or Josh. We just don't have a connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
The actors, we also saw them at GalaxyCon. They seem just as nice as Steve.
Yeah.
But you're not Steve. So.
It's not that we don't like them. It's
Yeah.
just that
This is what
we
grew up
liked
with.
Steve so much that when he was gone and we
Yes.
felt sad that he was gone, that sadness got directed at the new
As
guy.
anger as to who replaced him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Blue's Clues, I remember, it was the 10-year anniversary of Blue's Clues, and they were doing, a documentary special. I distinctly remember this because me and my two sisters were huge fans of Blue's Clues, and then my cousins, who were around the same age, also watched Blue's Clues. And every year we would go down to the shore and rent a house and hang out for the summer. The first day we were there, that documentary special premiered. All 8 of us were watching the TV, watching the documentary special. And it was just I was about 12, my sister was about 10 years old, and my youngest sister was about 6. And then my other cousins were 14, 15. And so it's just it was so weird to see all these kids at different ages watching a show that, while some of the older kids may have been oh, I'm just watching this because my younger sibling's watching it, but it had an impact on them, and that whole, it was just, I don't know, just looking back, it was just like, it's just amazing how much that show has touched so many people.
Blue's Clues is a lot of shows you watch, and they're entertaining, but not all of them leave their mark on a person.
Yeah. Like,
Blue's Clues left a mark. A little blue paw print on the heart of every kid who watched it.
yeah. Now, don't even, it's just like, I think just the show, it's not going to go away. At least in the hearts and minds of the kids that watched it. And in case you haven't heard this enough, Steve, I highly doubt you'll ever see this.
Or hear this.
Or hear this or whatever. And you probably don't remember us from GalaxyCon 2 years ago, but Steve, thank you very much for everything you did.
Yes.
Alright, does anybody else have anything else to say about Blue's Clues? Alright, well, I think that'll wrap it up.
Join us next week when we will be talking about
another 90s kids show.
a wonderful purple dinosaur named Barney. I will not hear any Barney dissing next week.
And we will not be talking about the remake.
Which one? But anyway.
The new one.
Anyway, so yes, join us next week for our episode of Barney as we wrap up our August educational programming segment. Hope to see you at Comic-Con in September.
And stay posted for new updates.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.